This is gonna be interesting. Okay, don't hate on the lashes, okay? Because I know it might be falling down. It's because your girl has not put lashes on for a hot minute. Hi guys, Busher here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another day in Busher Rahim world, checking out new products, reviewing new products. Hope you all are doing well, happy, safe, healthy. My prayers go out to all of you, especially to all the healthcare workers. So without further ado, let's get into this review. It is something that excites me like no other. Well, no. Skincare definitely excites me more than probably this, but anything Lemare just makes me so excited, and I'm like constantly clicking and seeing. I'm not lying when I say every day I go onto either Lemare's website, Nordstrom's website, Sephora's website, and I'm hitting Lemare, putting it in the search engine and looking up what's the new arrivals because I'm just so eager to see what they have. I know I sound psychotic, but anywho, I have with me here, dun 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 dun, the new Lemare Bronzer. I'm so excited. Let me tell you, this journey started probably in 2017, I think. I think that's when Tati first did the first review on the Lemare Bronzer, and I mean back then, what, it was $108 ridiculous dollars, something ridiculous, right? But it looked gorgeous and bronzy and ooh, it was amazing. Well, before I could get my hands on it back then, sold out. And so ever since then, I have been tracking the Lemare Bronzer. So with me today, not only do I have the new 2020 Lemare the Bronzer, but I also have the 2018, the 2019, and the 2020 with me. I'm gonna do a full inside scoop, do a comparison with the three of them. Let's do a dual or triple dual. You know what I mean. Before I get into that, I'm going to debrief you on what's on my face. I have the Lemare foundation in the shade Beige 32. All over this face. I also use the Lemare concealer in the shade medium. That's the cooler. Then to set that all in, the Lemare the powder. All right, so I set my T-zone, set under my eyes, powdered around the parameters because we are gonna go in with these bronzers on the parameters of my face. On my lips, you all are probably wondering what I have on there. It is the Lemare the Gloss. Very pretty. I've used it for, I don't know, quite a few months now. And that's the applicator. I love wearing this on like errand days when I've got my, you know, quarantine makeup look on. This is my second go-to. My first go-to is the Sicily, as you would have seen in my previous videos, the last two. If you haven't seen those, check it out, link above. I wish Lemare came out with a cream bronzer. That would be really nice, and maybe even a more opalescent highlighter. I know that Lemare has a highlighter right now. It's like the Duo, which sold out, but it's like a more of a champagne-y pink color, something that I don't really vibe with, so I didn't pick that one up. But I'm really hoping that they come out with like a more of a pearly, glowy, like the Chanel highlighter that I showed in my quarantine self-care video. Link is above. Like that. I wish that Lemare came out with something like that as well. But anywho, I digress. Let's go on and unbox this puppy. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay. All right. This retails for, it's expensive. So expensive. It's so expensive. I think I've suppressed the memory of how much it is. It's $90. 90 big ones. Okay. All right, so, ooh, this packaging, girl. Do you all see that packaging? Oh, like what? Oh, that's gorgeous. All right, so there's like a film that you have on top. Take that puppy off. Look at it. Just enjoy that with me for a second. You got 2018, looks kind of plasticky, looks kind of flimsy, you know? But then you've got 2019, looks a little bit better. You got nice design on there, it's kind of nice. And then you got 2020 with upgraded packaging. That's really nice, I do have to say. It's so pretty to have on your vanity. or in your purse. And I do like the fact that it's kind of like this shiny, glossy kind of thing. I don't feel like it would scratch as much as 2018's got some scratches on it, if you all can see that. 2019 doesn't have as bad of scratches, not yet. All right, let's open it up. The moment we've been waiting for. Ah. And that's what you get. You got 3 layers of color. I do like the colors that I'm seeing so far in the pan. They are really pigmented looking. Something that I didn't like in the previous year, 2018, was when the swirl was there. I didn't like the fact that you weren't able to use the blush, the bronzer, and the highlighter independently like this one. This one you clearly can see that they're independent. And I do really like the highlighter. It's got this kind of champagne-y color. It's a lighter color. And then the blush, it's a beautiful pink. The bronzer I'm excited about because it does seem darker than the previous year's bronzer. So this one reminds me of the 2018 one. So as you see, the blush is very similar, although the new 2020 blush is a little bit more corally, less pink. The bronzer, like I said, is a little bit deeper, and the highlighter is a little bit lighter than what we had in 2018. Now you do have the typical Lemare, fresh Lemare smell. I mean, if you like that smell, I love that smell. Of course, with all Lemare products, the Miracle Broth is in all of them, but to give you guys a little bit of a description, this new bronzer for 2020 is a glow-enhancing, silky pressed powder that creates the look of a glimmering sun-kissed skin. I hope so, for $90. What it does, it's infused with the brand's nutrient-rich Miracle Broth. This harmonious and illuminating bronzer perfectly highlights and defines the contours of your face. Your skin is left looking radiant and sun-warm. How to use: sweep across your forehead, cheeks, nose, and chin to add dimension. Play with lighter shades to highlight your cheeks and décolletage. Cool. Like I said, no bronzer on my face. Let's go ahead and demo it. I'm a little tempted to see it in comparison to the 2018 bronzer. I look like a little Amish schoolgirl. Before I put on my face, let's do a little swatcheroo. I'm going to do them independently. So here's the bronze shade. Swatch it on my hand, but that's the bronzer shade. Let's do the blush independently. Ooh, the blush is a little bit difficult to get to because it's so like close to the edge of the packaging, but that's the blush. It's pretty. Oh, so it is very shiny. It's very highlightery kind of a blush. It's light. It's a little light. So that's going to be interesting. Then you've got the highlighter, which is the biggest portion of the palette. And then that's the 3 together. And then the highlighter I'm gonna put on the other side of the bronzer. Oh, I do really like this highlighter shade. It's a little golden. It's a little golden. I don't know about the other one. Guys, I'm terrible at swatches. I'm sorry. So that's a highlighter, bronzer, blush. And I feel like it's gonna be different on the face. But you see how it's kind of golden, the highlighter? I don't know. I like the underlying tone of that blush. Now let's see what it's like mixed together, all 3 on my hand. So I'm just gonna swirl in there. It's a little bit orange, guys. So blush, bronzer, highlighter, all 3 swoosh together. So that looks promising, right? As a bronzer, maybe a little orange, but let's see. I'm gonna do this one on this side of my face, and I'm gonna do this one on that side of my face. And then, because the last year bronzer doesn't have a blush, I feel like it's not a true comparison to what happened this year, but for the sake of this video, I do want to put this on my face as well. So I'm going to concentrate this one, last year's 2019, on my forehead. So that's this one. I'm going to use, for all 3 of them, I will clean it off in between, but I'm going to use the Lemare powder brush. If you haven't felt this, if you haven't tried it, it is the most luxurious brush I have ever used in my entire life. For the bronzer, I'm gonna just ruin it. It's so ruined. Look at it. It's dirty now. but I mean, a girl's gotta do it, you know? Okay. Light application. Gonna go in with some more. Let's pack it on. Okay, so I feel like this is starting to look a little bit more like a blush than a bronzer. Let's do a little bit more, shall we? Okay, let's cover the chin area a little bit. Bring it down my neck. What'd you guys think? I'm not sure. Let's compare. Let's go into the other one. So let me clean off this brush real quick. Okay, clean brush. Going in with the 2018. Hopefully I get my numbers correct. Don't misinform. Same thing. Now I have to be honest, I kept the 2018 Lemare Bronzer, but honestly, I didn't use it as a bronzer. I used it more as a blush. I really like it, but not as a bronzer. Yeah, it doesn't do much. So, recap, 2020, 2018, and now 2019. I think out of all of them, my favorite is 2019. Just because I'm buying a bronzer, right? I'm buying a bronzer for a bronzer. If I wanted to buy a blush, highlighter, and bronzer, then I would buy 2020s, or if I had bought the 2018, then I would use that, right? But if I'm buying a bronzer for a bronzer, that's a bronzer with a little bit of highlighter, because you got a little bit of a highlight up there. But I do like the fact that it's a gradient. And in the pan, this reminds me a lot of the Hoola bronzer, the lighter shade that's out now. But this reminds me a lot of the OG Hoola bronzer. So for the forehead, gonna go in with this all over, I like a sieve. There's definitely a illumination, like a radiant finish to all of them, which is beautiful for Lemare to do that, but I feel this is more of a blush. This was, remember, 2018, and then you've got 2020, and then you've got 2019. So, is it worth it? I really don't know. Now, I want to see if I can pinpoint the blush and the highlighter separate, and maybe even the bronzer, and let's build this side up. Obviously, this brush is not going to work. So for my bronzer, I'm going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury brush. Let's see. I'm really going to try to get in there. Ooh, that's a lot of product. Holy moly, guys. Dust that off a little. I do think I like it independently. Now, if they had just done that, then that'd be perfect. You know what I mean? Just make a bronzer for a bronzer. Stop dinking around. I'm gonna put on the side of my nose a little bit. I wanna see what it looks like when I bronze. I do use bronzer on my nose. Not a pretty look. Let's go and just make the most ugly face you could possibly make and blend that out. Oh Lord, have mercy, I put a little too much there. Your girl's nose is bronzed on that side. Let's go in a little bit with the foundation. All right, so let's try the highlighter shade. Not as much highlighter comes up or off the brush. It's pretty. It's pretty. That's all I could say. It's pretty. It's not the shade of highlighter I would prefer or I'd reach for. Let's put some under my brow. All right, well, let's try the blush. Going in with another clean brush here. I gotta pinch the brush to get in there though. That's what I'm saying. Like, just give me a bronzer. Just give me a bronzer. Now, something I am noticing is if you had textured skin, which I don't necessarily have textured skin, but I do have dry skin, and my skin looks just like a touch crepey, a touch powdery, not as glowy as I would want. I'm tempted to say that I'm not a fan. This is cyan. This is really cyan. I'm curious to see last year's. Let's go in with a small brush for individual portions of these guys on my forehead. So I have another clean Charlotte Tilbury brush. I'm gonna go in with the 2 bronzer shades on this one, 2019. As I see it here, not a lot of bronzer comes off as much as the other one. The other one was really powdery for some reason. And then I'm going to just concentrate on the forehead. I think 2019 is my favorite by far. But you can still get your hands on the 2019 version. Thank goodness for that. Get it while you can, because they're gonna discontinue it. It's limited edition. I'm gonna go in with just that little highlighter bit there, just to test it out on the forehead, right here above my temples. Well, actually temples there, but above my eyebrow or brow bone. I wouldn't use it as a highlighter. With 2019, I would just use it as a bronzer, just swirl the whole thing and just slap it all over my face. Now, with this guy, this is near damn impossible to single out the blush or the bronzer. Pinch this, get it in there. This was a terrible design. This was terrible, terrible design. Okay, comparing the bronzer shades, a lot more product comes off on that one. I have to say I do like this shade a little bit better than the 2020. So far, 2020, you're not doing so good, man. Okay, I'm gonna go in with the blush. I do like this blush color. But again, it's so damn near impossible to get it from the bottom of the pan. See that? It's just like a hint of pink. Love that. Okay, now the highlighter. That's hard again. I feel like this highlighter is very similar to the 2020 highlighter. But I mean, it's basically impossible to get that highlighter. I mean, I'm barely able to get any on there. But whatever, let's try it. I do like this highlighter better though. I mean, I can't even tell I'm wearing highlighter. And I mean, I like very natural highlighters, and if I'm saying I can't even tell that there's highlighter, that's a problem. Yeah, not so sure. I'm gonna go back in with the 2020, just the highlighter shade, and I want to try it on my nails. So luckily the highlighter is big enough where you could actually take your brush in, but not a lot of product comes off on the brush. It's very hard for some reason. It's busier.
What the hell?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. Oh, I'm sad to say it, folks. Ugh, it breaks my heart. I don't know if it's worth $100, $90. I was really hoping that that bronzer shade would be a good match for that bronzer shade, you know, from 2019, but no. Just, I don't know. I'm not so sure. But you know what? Let me know if you guys have tried it out. Can you tell that I'm bummed? Can you tell that I'm bummed? I'm gonna take these clips out. I was really looking forward to really liking this. I'm not a fan of the highlighter. It looks really powdery and dry, especially on my nose. The blush is okay, but I like 2018 blush better. The bronzer is pretty good, actually. I don't mind the bronzer. The bronzer is pretty good. But again, you're having to kind of select the bronzer out of there, and I would go back to the 2020 and keep this. This was a really good bronzer. And again, it's a bronzer, meant to be a bronzer. I think on Lemare's website, this is for $85. I will link it down in the description bar if it is different. I think the 2019 is a nice bronzing shade. The 2020, it's very orange. I feel like for my skin tone, this is pretty good. This bronzer color, I would like it a little deeper, I think, similar to the 2019. 2018 is just, it's more of a blush than a bronzer. So those are the 3 bronzers. 2018, which is very light. Then you've got the 2019. Then you've got the 2020. the 2020 is slightly more orange than I would like. 2019 is perfect. 2018, as you see, is more of a blush. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Orgasm, a little bit more browny than that. For lighter skin tones, this would have been perfect. That's still not quite a bronzer though. And then my skin tone are a little bit deeper. 2018 is great. 2020, I mean, personally, I'm not interested in an orange bronzer, but to each their own. Maybe I need to put more. I'm not sure. Let's put more. Swirling it on. Nah. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed in this guy. I was having really high hopes. I was really excited considering, you know, I didn't like the packaging from 2018. This was terrible design. The colors are great individually, I would say. I mean, the highlighter shade, as we see here, it's not overly distinctive. Like, I can't tell I'm wearing oh, well, kind of, I guess, a little bit, right? It's not wowing me, but obviously I kept it because I really like the blush color, and I like how actually the whole swirl looks on me. I feel like it's just a very natural blush. This one does have a tendency of looking very powdery, just like the new one, but the new one I find is a little bit more powdery than the 2018. You guys let me know in the comment section down below, but I feel like the powder is catching a little bit on my dry patches, just the tiniest bit. Something they did get right though is the fact that it is very luminous. It's very radiant looking, but when I look up close, it looks very powdery, especially on my nose. And you know me, I'm very picky about my highlighters. As it sets into my skin, it's mixing with my natural oils, and I'm sure if I was to spray my face down, mist it, it would take away some of that powder. But honestly, first glance, first application, I'm still over the moon, in love with my 2019 bronzer. Guys, if you can go get your hands on this, which it's still available right now on Lemare's website, link in the description bar down below. Check it out, it's worthwhile, especially if you're my skin tone. That is like amazing bronzer. You can see on my forehead, beautiful, illuminating bronzer, true bronzer. Personally, I'm going to skip on the 2020. I just wish there was more bronzer, less highlighter. I mean, although there's quite a bit of color payoff, right? More so than the previous year, but just it's not my tone that I like. It's a lot more terracotta orange than what I tend to go for. Now, if you guys can get your hands on the 2019, this one is beautiful. Lemare, stick to just bronzers, keep it as a bronzer. Crazy thing is, this 2019 version does not make my skin look crepey or dry. It's a beautiful golden color. It's gorgeous. Like, it's an amazing illuminating bronzer. So it pains me to say it, but sorry, Lemare. 2020 was not your year. Packaging, beautiful. Okay, let's revisit that. Packaging, beautiful. Let's keep this packaging absolutely gorgeous. I love the 2019 one. Now the packaging needs to be a little bit improved. Lemare, if you come out with another bronzer in 2021, let's have it just as a bronzer, but in this packaging, that would be great. You know, today was a little bit of a bust, but I'm glad that we were able to sit down and compare the three together. If you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when my next video comes out. Until next time, stay safe, stay happy, stay beautiful. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys. I say guys.